Welcome to Near Falls with D. Hall. He's talking on bars and how they win it all. Yeah, it's just Near Falls with D. Hall. The final takedown, the glory or the fall. So loosen up, step on in, wrestle with the need to win. We're talking Near Falls with D. Hall. Ready or not, he's here to brawl.
What's going on, wrestling fans? Welcome into another edition of Near Falls with D Hall, a wrestling podcast. Today, so excited. This is the best time of year. My favorite project of the year, the 24-25 WPIAL Coaches Preview. So excited to bring this to you guys. I have a bunch of different coaches coming on from across the WPIAL. They're going to come on, talk about their schedule, expectations, up-and-comers, their leaders, their seniors, all that type of stuff. You guys know the drill. This is year 3 or 4 of me doing it. So pumped up to bring it to you guys. I really hope you enjoy it, and just hope you enjoy listening to these guys talk like I did. It was always a blast for me, and this year was no different. So without further ado, welcome in to the WPIAL Coaches Preview.
Welcome to the Near Falls WPIAL Show, where D.R. and Kaz are gonna tell you all the things you wanna know. Whether it's Trinity or Spencer Lee or Mr. Kurt Angle, just ask Vinny, WPIAL, yeah, Ken and Mac for sure. They got the interviews to soothe your soul, because it's Near Falls in the WPIAL.
All right, joining me now on the call, we have head coach of Montour Area School District, Mr. Zach Tournay. How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Got to get the rival on, as always, over there across the way over in Robinson. But, man, it's always good to have the Spartans on and talk to you guys and see how you guys are doing, of course. And, man, another year in the making. Talk to me about your post high school guys, your alumni group, who's doing big things. I know we talked last year, you got a guy in the WWE. I mean, you got stuff all over the place, man. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, we have a ton of alumni making noise at the college level, actually. So we have class of 2021, Aiden DeLuca. He's up in Western New England University.
Nice. What is that? D2, D3, NAIA?
D3.
Nice.
Yeah, D3. So he's 197 pounds. I know he got some action this past weekend. I think him and another guy are kind of going back and forth as a starter. Then you got Peter Chacon, WPIAL champion, class of 2003 or 2023.
Mm-hmm.
He's at Duke. He's at 149 pounds. I think he's kind of found himself in the starting lineup as well. I know he went 4-0. Yeah, he went 4-0 at the Journeyman Classic a couple weekends ago. So he's having a nice sophomore year at Duke. Another graduate of 2023, Lucas Swearingen. He is at the University of Dayton. They have a club team out there, so he's wrestling with them. And I got four wrestlers from last year all went on to wrestle college as well. Anthony Orlandini, he's at St. Vincent College. Brent Franz, he's at Waynesburg. And then AJ Esposito, he's at Duquesne. They have a club team down there. And then Jake Stetz from last year, he's at Slippery Rock, wrestling for their club team. So, and then, you can't leave out Roman Masick, who's just killing it right now at the NXT level in WWE, under the name of Luca Crucifino. So a lot of alumni making noise everywhere they go. So we like to have that.
Yeah, man. And, I love that you have a bunch of guys that are wrestling club or wrestling D3, and you got a guy that's in Division I making noise. I mean, it's cool to see that you have guys at all levels, which shows that, you inserted the love or, the addiction of wrestling in those guys, which is a great thing.
Well, that's what, you want to grow the sport as much as you can.
Yeah.
And, not everybody, can go D1, or D2, but there's options out there for anybody who wants to take their wrestling to another level. There's club sport teams at almost every university. So it's, the love of the sport takes them
Great
there.
stuff,
So,
man.
and we're happy, they always usually come back around Christmas time. They'll pop in the room and, I let them run practice for the day, which, that's always fun. Whenever
It's a feather
all
in the
leaders
cap.
come back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. It is. It's cool to come back and help out the squad. I love that.
Yes.
Talk to me about the off-season program. What's that look like for you guys? You have guys in the room. They go to the club. What's it look like?
So we had quite a few. We have a couple wrestlers who wrestled all summer long with their club, and then we also did like an open mat conditioning kind of thing in the summertime and in the fall here. But a lot of my wrestlers are either football players or they're cross country runners, they're soccer players. So for the most part, all of my wrestlers are pretty much a multi-sport athlete. So they've been all just pretty much staying busy. So whenever they could pop in, they popped in. But for the most part, as long as they're staying busy, I'm fine with that, But yeah, open mat, them playing their sport that's in season. And then, the ones that we're doing, I was able to go out and watch a couple of them in some weekend tournaments here and there over the summer. So it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, man, it's good to see them on the mats grinding and, just at least, like you said, moving, grooving, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, they're not at home sitting on the couch or anything.
Yes, exactly. Talk to me about your leaders in your room. You just mentioned that you had 3 guys that go on and, are wrestling at the next level. But talk to me about some of the leaders that you're going to have this year.
Well, the big thing for us, we graduated 7 seniors last year. So we have 6 returning starters, couple here and there that got a spot start, every once in a while. But for the most part, we only have 3 seniors this year. One of them would be Danny Brandel. We're going to be counting on him to be a senior leader in the room. And then a few juniors that have already stepped up their leadership role, one of which was Rook Smith. He was a state qualifier last year. The other one, Jacob Chacon, junior. And then last but certainly not least, Kristen Walzer, junior, who placed 6th in the state last year as a sophomore for the girls. And she's really taken a leadership role as well. So, and then, the other returning starters that we have, a junior, Tom Cunningham. We're expecting some big things from him this year. And then also sophomore heavyweight, Jacob Habadell, who is the starting center on the football team. So we're hoping that he takes another big step in the progression, for them as well. And that pretty much rounds out our returners. And then, we'll fill out the rest of the lineup with some wrestlers who might find themselves on the varsity squad for the first time. A couple freshmen here or there, some sophomores that we sent back down to the junior high who wrestled junior high last year. They're finally up here as sophomores. They'll find themselves in the starting lineup. So we'll see. A lot of spots to be had, and we'll have some wrestle offs next week to see how they do.
How about you talked a little bit about some of those freshmen that you held down last year, or a freshman that's coming up. How about someone that we might look up, or we might be surprised that makes a run at the end of the year?
First one that comes to my mind is Reese Lagalia. He's gonna be he's a freshman this year. He had he's a wrestler who's been wrestling since youth. So we're gonna, he's a lightweight, like 114, 121 pounds. So we think that he should have a decent year, but there might be some growing pains as every freshman goes through. But he should be a name to be on the lookout. And then we have another one, Liam Havanek. He's in some tough weight classes where there's some upperclassmen, but he's got the technique. He's a solid wrestler, so we're gonna try to work him into the lineup whenever we can. He's probably like around 152, 160 pound. So we're gonna try to see what we can do with him, getting him in the lineup as well. So,
coaching staff, what's that look like for you guys?
Coaching staff. So big transition this year with coaching staff. So my varsity assistant, Rick Patinato, he went on to be the head coach at Keystone Oaks. So my varsity assistant this year is actually an old assistant, Steve Fullwood, who he was coaching with us junior high, coaching with me varsity, took a year off because of his job, and then he's back as my varsity assistant. Matt Oblock is my junior high head coach. He's Kennemac grad. He's one of the he works at our school district as one of the like technology guys. So he's here as the varsity assistant. And then Ryan Reconu is my junior high assistant. He's one of the elementary school teachers. And he graduated in 2017. He wrestled for me. So everybody is pretty much an alumni. And I have two volunteer assistants, Reno DeCesar. He's in law school at Duquesne, moved back. He was at Penn State. So he's volunteering some time. And then AJ Esposito, who graduated last year, will be another volunteer assistant. And then, Dad's always going to show up.
Yeah, baby. That's what I was getting into.
For every match and tournament. So he's always there for, willing to sit in the corner.
We were talking about addictions a second ago. I think that guy has a true wrestling addiction, which I love.
He just stopped in the room at practice yesterday. He just came in and he shook everybody's hand, said hello, and then I turned around and he was gone. So
yeah, one of those figures, man, just like a shadow, right?
He pops in whenever he wants. So, but yeah, he's always welcome. So
yeah, that's one of those things about legends. They're, whenever they want to come in and grace us with their appearance, they're always welcome. I love that.
And it's great for me because, I always have questions,
Yep.
what he would do and stuff like that. So I always bounce some stuff off of him.
He has a little bit of experience, I guess, right?
Yeah, he's been around.
No doubt. Okay, talk to me about your schedule, man. What's it look like for this year? How are you going to try to get these guys ready for the end of the year?
Well, the biggest thing for us, we're moving back up to AAA.
Right.
So we were AA for the past 4 years, so now we're back up to AAA. So we'll see West Allegheny this year again for the first time in a couple years.
Let's go.
So they're in our we're in the section. It's us, West Allegheny, Moon, and Blackhawk. So we'll have all those on the section schedule. First one off the bat, we have the Chartiers Houston tournament. So we'll have that first weekend of December, and then our first dual meet will be against Southside Beaver. I believe that's first Wednesday of December, I think. So, but yeah, it's a different schedule than what we're normally into because we have a bunch of new section, and it was,
Yeah. It's always different when you move complete different divisions. There's no doubt about that.
yes.
Talk to me about room games. What do you guys get into over there at Montour?
Biggest thing for us is dodgeball or speedball.
Nice.
I make the kids earn it a little bit. So we're not, one of those that do it every day. But they definitely have to earn the game either by practicing hard or coming off a good win. So we'll get into that probably later in the season. Dodgeball always gets them moving. Speedball can get a little violent sometimes. So that's always fun, and we always like to join in as coaches too. So
yeah, I was just gonna ask you that. You jump in there with them boys?
Oh yeah, all the time.
Yeah, let's go.
So
no hold bards, baby. Let's go.
We got to teach these young kids how it really goes.
I love that. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Okay. Next thing I have, social medias. How can we follow your squad this year?
So I usually post on my own personal Twitter account. I got at Montour Coach Zach. I got Facebook. I got Instagram. Just Z Tournay, Zach Tournay. You can find me on there. And our Montour athletic department has their own Twitter. They're always retweeting anything that I put out. So the word will get out there after every dual meet or any tournaments that we have guys placing in. So they can always find us at somewhere.
Give me your goals and expectations you have for the squad.
I would say the biggest goal for us would be, team playoffs. Because we lost so many seniors. We're going to have a lot of fresh faces as starters. So a big goal for us is to see how some of these new faces, some of these new starters embrace that role, and how they respond to being in that role. And if they can, I think we should have a full lineup. There might be some growing pains here or there, but being competitive, I think, is one of like what we're hoping, to be. And hopefully at the end of January, we find ourselves in that WPIAL playoff bracket. And then on an individual note, we have 2 returning state qualifiers last year, with Rook Smith and Kristen Walzer. So we're hoping for, another trip to Hershey for, couple, and maybe, have a couple extra individuals joining on the trip. So.
Absolutely. Coach, anything or anyone else you want to shout out before I leave you go?
I got to shout out big time to my coaching staff. I think it's across the board. It's so hard to find, good people, period, who want to coach. And I feel lucky enough that not only do I have, a nice coaching staff, but it's alumni who want to come back and give back to our program. So big shout out to them, like Steve Fullwood, my varsity assistant, Matt Oblock, Ryan Recanu, my volunteers, Reno DeCesar and AJ Esposito. The fact that they want to come back and give back is great. And then, anybody who covers the sport of wrestling like yourself, I mean, that's getting the word out there too, is huge. High school wrestling is growing every year. So, whenever it's put in the limelight, we enjoy it. So.
Absolutely. That's the goal of mine, just to try to bring as much attention to, my beautiful sport as possible, and, our beautiful sport as possible. And, man, I love what you said about the coaches there, man. And it's so true. Like, these dudes, and no one does coaching wrestling for the money, right? It's just, not there. It's not, they do it because they love it and they love the kids. So it's a true testament when you find the right person and the right people to put around your kids. It's a big deal,
and
man.
That's a big thing. It's a lot about character too, because you don't want to, you want to make sure when you bring somebody in to coach that they are a quality person too, because you're a role model, to young high school athletes. So that the character is big for me, with coaches. So.
Absolutely. Coach, thank you so much for taking some time out tonight before the Steeler game kicks off here in about a minute, and hanging out with me, my friend.
Donnie, thank you very much for having me, and I'm sure I'll be seeing you at some point this year at some tournament anywhere.
Yeah, man. Maybe a West A Montour match or something. It might be time to break it back out. I mean, either way, I'm excited to see you guys back on the schedule for sure.
West Allegheny, I believe, is that home for us, or is that at West Allegheny?
I have not looked at the schedule yet. I have to check.
Right here at West Allegheny, January 15th.
Oh, man. I got like a 4-minute drive to get there. I think I can make that one.
I'll see you there.
All right, my man. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you real soon.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.